So, this is our lecture for the importance of contract. Before this lecture, we learn about the introduction of this course and meaning and types of contracts, right? So here it is very interesting, I think, in this course. Yeah, every points are interesting, but this is I think also important, because we have contracts, we have a drafted contracts, but what are the importance of contracts that we don't know, then there is no any meaning, right? So our topic here is importance of contracts. So we have here uh, five types of importances which we learn here. So first is establishing clear as expectations. So establishing clear expectation, that contracts define the rights, obligations and expectations of all parties it involved in a transaction or relationship, right? So by clearly outlining what each party is responsible for and what they can expect in return, contracts help prevent understanding and disputes. Okay, next is providing legal protection. Contracts are legally binding documents, right? Which means they offer a legal protection to parties, and if the other party fails to fulfill their obligations, they serve as evidences of the agreement and reach between parties and provide a basis for legal recourses in case of breach of contract, right? Third one is facilitating certainty and predictability. What about this? Let's learn. In business and personal transactions, certainty and predictability are crucial. Contracts provide a structural framework that enables parties to plan and conduct their affairs with knowing and with confidence that the terms agreed upon will be upheld. Fourth one is supporting orderly dispute resolution. Supporting is inevitably disagreements and disputes may arise in contractual relationships. So contracts provide mechanisms for resolving disputes in an orderly manner, often through negotiation, mediation, arbitration, as is specified in the contract terms. And this helps parties avoid time consuming and costly litigations. Next is preserving business integrity and reputation. So by upholding the terms of contracts, parties demonstrate integrity and reliability in their business dealings, and this contributes to maintaining a positive reputations and building a trust with their clients or customers and investors, suppliers and other stakeholders. So these 5 points are I think it's 5 points are more than enough to understand the importance of contract. Now moving towards the importance of contracts by various real life example. So real life example in scenario here is employment security, right? So Maria is hired as a marketing manager at a company. She receives a written employment contract specifying her salary, job responsibilities, and benefits. So, importance of what are the importance here for Maria to draft and to sign the employment security contract? So, first is clarity. Maria knows exactly what her job entails and what compensation she will receive, right? So, this is very transparent here. Next is protection. If the company decided to reduce her salary without cause, Maria can refer to her contract to ensure she is compensated fairly, right? So this is also one type of protection Maria have because of this contract. Next is dispute resolution. If Maria is wrongfully terminated, there is no any reason behind the termination but wrongfully terminated, and the contract provides a basis for her to seek legal recourse. And if Maria wants to some legal remedies for that termination, so they can do before they can do because of the employment contract which they sign, right? Yeah, we can take another example. A construction project scenario. A homeowner, that name is Tom, hires a construction company to build a new deck, and they sign a contract detailing the scope of work, timeline, materials to be used, and payment schedule. So these all are key elements that are mentioned in the construction contract. So here what are the importance for this? First is clear expectations. Tom knows what to expect in terms of project completions and quality, right? Next one is legal recourse. If the construction company uses subpar materials or fails to complete the project on time, Tom can hold accountable as per the contract terms, right? Because they have contract, they have binding, both the parties are binding together in the contract, so this is liable. Next is avoid misunderstandings. The contract helps prevent disputes by clearly outlining each party's responsibilities. So this is mutual understanding, this is avoid the misunderstanding between both the parties. So these are about construction. We have many importances are there, but I just mention here some important points only. Third example is business partnership scenario. Two entrepreneurs, their name is John and Sarah. They are decided to start a one business together, and they draft a partnership agreements, partnership contract, partnership deed, whatever you say. This all are same, and outlining their roles, their profit sharing, their decision making process, and procedure for resolving disputes. These are key elements about the partnership agreements. Yeah, we have many clauses are there, but these clauses are very important and essential for this. So what are the importance here about partnership deed? So we have role clarity. First of all, we have role clarity. Both partners understand their responsibilities and their contributions to the business. There is no any misunderstanding and no any dispute arises because yeah, my contribution is 50%, my responsibility is also 50%. Then both the partners are divide all type of work between them. Next is dispute prevention. The agreement helps prevent misunderstandings and conflicts by providing clear guidelines for the operations. If any circumstances are arises in the future, they have already some clauses that are mentioned in the contract, that are mentioned in the partnership agreement or deed, and because of that the misunderstanding are not arises, and that prevent misunderstandings from the disputes by the partnership contracts. Next is exit strategy. If one partner wants to leave the business, the contract provides a clear process for doing so and protecting the interest of both the parties. If they have John and Sarah, right, both the partners are decide to start the business. If after 6 months or 7 months after 7 months, Johan or Sarah want to leave the business, what are the criteria for the leaving business, what are their profit sharing ratio, their liabilities, whichever they will pay, and then after they leave this business, all type of that criteria and process for doing so. This is must mention in the mention in the contract, that will help to the both of the parties to protect their business. Next example is lease agreement scenario. A tenant, that name is Lisa, sign a lease agreement. A tenant, her name is Lisa, and sign a lease agreement with the landlord for an apartment rental. And the contract specifies the rent amount, payment due dates, lease duration, and rules for property use. These are essentials clauses which are mentioned in the lease agreement. So importance here is, first is tenant rights. The lease protects lessor from arbitrary rent increases or evictions that provides the abides by the lease terms. Okay. Next is landlord rights. We have not just like a tenant right here, we have landlord rights as well. The landlord is protected if lessor violates the legal terms or lease terms, such as not paying rent or damaging the property, right? And conflict resolutions. If disputed arises, the lease serves as a reference point to resolve issues without ambiguity. If Lisa is failed to pay rent and damaging the property, they have disputes in the future. They have also one type of prevention from disputes. It's called conflict resolutions in a particular contract. So any landlord rights are infringed, any tenant rights are infringed, in future we have all type of remedies in the contracts is must necessary. Next example is freelance work scenario. Freelance work, for example, a graphic designer. Okay, his name is Alex. Agrees to design a website for a client, and they sign a contract that includes project deliverables, payment terms, and deadlines. So what are the important points, and what are the importance of this contracts? Freelance work scenario. The scope of the work. The contract ensures both Alex and the client it's agree on what the final product will be. Timely payment. Alex is assured of receiving payment upon meeting milestones or project completion, reducing the risk of non payment. And professionalism. Having a contract demonstrates Alex's professionalism and commitment, potentially leading to more trust and future work from the client. So these are, I think, three main importance which I mentioned here. So scope of the work and timely payment, there is no delay in payment. If the delay in payment, so what are the remedies for that? And professionalism, conduct a professionalism in every business is necessary. So this is all. Now we have a contracts, we have examples of importance of contracts as well, but many businesses and many general persons or laymen are drafting contracts by themselves or to any agent on them. But here I want to share something that why lawyers are best for the drafting contracts. Why need of lawyers in drafting contracts? Drafting contracts with the help of lawyers is essential to ensure that agreements are legally sound, clear, and enforceable. Lawyers have the expertise to use precise legal language and understand the specific legal requirements for different types of contracts, which helps prevent potential disputes, then uninated consequences. They can identify and mitigate risk, customize contracts to fit the unique needs of the parties involved, and include provisions that consider long-term implications like in litigation process, right? If litigation process are happen, then it will definitely help you. Then a well drafted contract by a lawyer, it ensures fairness and balance, protecting the interest of all parties and making enforcement easier if a dispute arises. By relying on legal professionals, parties can be confident that their agreements will stand up in court for litigation and provide the intended protections. So that is the need of lawyers in drafting contracts. So thank you so much for this lecture and for listening me. I hope you all are getting all the points and you easily understand all this lecture. Thank you.